I'm starting to have a photo problem. I take so many photos, I just don't know which one's to scrapbook. I might take 100 photos just because it's a pretty day, and more if it's something special. That's an impossible number to scrap. I need a plan that will work for my albums. Glitter Girl, can you help?
Of course I can. I think the trick to this is in balance. As with all things, we need a balance from one kind of photo to another kind of photo so that this story stays pretty much accurate to our memory. So I want to show you this with birthday photos, and I've done 2 layouts so far, and I think I'm going to do 5, and let me walk you through what that will be. I think it's going to be 5. Let me make sure that my explanation adds up to 5 as well. So this will be the first page in the album when you get to his birthday. So this would be on the right-hand side of the 2 pages. You can certainly start on the double and start on the left, but I just like starting on the right if it's possible so that it feels like there's a chapter divider or a title page that kind of introduces the topic. So that's the one that will come first. And then I have done this one already about the cake and the cookies and the cupcakes and all of that good stuff. Okay, so I have those 2 finished. And the other things I want to include, well, I've got some photos here. This needs to come, well, this is actually after the cake because this is when it's going to be served, so maybe this goes after that. I want 1 page with all the friends and family. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 final page that will be a really big photo of him and just a little bit of embellishment and journaling. And that, I think, will make it feel it'll give it a good story of the whole day, of all the different people who came to the party and all the different things that we did there, including eat a lot of cake and cookies. But it will start and end with lovely photos of the birthday boy. So I will do this one first, and then as I turn this, I'll have friends and family on the left and the cake page on the right. And then when that turns, then that's where this page is going to go. And then I'll end with the page that will have a really big photo of the birthday boy. Does that make sense? So today I'm going to do this one. And I wanted to show you that balance because here's the thing. I'm going to include 2 photos, one that includes him as well and one that's just me, which perhaps is not the most obvious thing. However, I want 1 photo or 1 page with photos that include all the different people that were there. And when I look back over the photos, these are really, really happy photos, and somebody else took them. I'm really excited that I have them, and I come back a lot to that idea when I'm scrapbooking that at some point in time, photos are all that people have as memories or scrapbook pages or whatever it is. And I use that as a reminder to make sure that I am in the album. I don't want it to seem like a big event, like a birthday party where I've put all this work into all the different pages and then I'm not there because I'm only behind the camera. I certainly took a lot of the photos that day, but not all of them. And somebody else snapped these and my face is so happy and looking at them makes me feel happy to make the page. So to me, I'm not going to shy away. No, they are not the most beautiful photos of me ever, but they're also not horrible, so I'm okay with it. I'm being honest there. It's okay. We all want to edit things that we don't love. So I've been using these supplies here, but I do not have any full pages left. So I want to continue to use those so that it will all feel cohesive, but I'm going to need to add something because I don't have a 12x12 background. On second thought, I'm pretty sure I can piece it together with what I've got here. So I have this that I'm going to use as if it were a 12x12 background, and I'm just going to start by piecing the red into this corner. But this red will not reach all the way to the bottom, so about 1/3 of the way up the page, I'm going to add a little extra to help it fit. So I'm just going to cut right across that. Oh, yeah, that's right. And with here, this. So I want to line it up with both sides so that I'm going to get my nice 12 by 12 background. And this one's going to come down to the bottom. And then this is going to go right across the middle. And the grid makes it really easy to line everything up. This is the branding strip, but somehow I've not done a great job of cutting it. And so what I'm going to do is just adhere it straight across, but I'm going to know that I'm going to add things here that will make this a little less obvious that I cut through it at some point. Okay, so I have my 12 by 12 background, and then I have my photos, and I want to bring in a little bit of the yellow, so I'm going to start by matting them with that yellow pattern. The yellow on its own against that red and black is quite harsh, so I've also cut a layer of the gray polka dot just to soften it a little bit, and I'm going to work in this area of the page where everything's coming together. And yellow on top of that. And then I had thought originally about using this transparency, which is gold on the clear, but actually when I put it against these patterns, I don't think it's showing off its best side, really. I think it's going to be better on a really light background, and I should save that for something where I'm going to put white or a really pale shade behind it. I also have scraps of this left from what I had chosen to work with for the party, so I'm going to cut this into a nice little column here and put that to use right behind here. Of course, with vellum, the adhesive is going to show through, so I'm just going to put the adhesive where I can tuck it behind all those layers. And then to start thinking about embellishment and title, so I've got all the colors there, and I am trying to keep this down to the bottom left quadrant because I've just planned out the fact that this will be on the left hand side and that big photo is going to be on the right hand side. So I think keeping it small and compact and down to this part of the page will help that balance so that your eye will go to the other page first. I want this in the album, don't get me wrong. I want this to be there, it's very important to me, but that big photo I also want to be able to grab your attention and to be, you know, a little bit of a showstopper when you turn the pages. So I'm purposely keeping this small into the bottom of the page, and I need to tuck some things behind, I think, and then of course this space that I know from the beginning I'm going to have to work with. You know these letters that I used before, and I was so excited that I could just spell even boy. I think if I cheat a little bit, I can spell sing. So I'm going to try it and let's see if it works. So I've got the S, the I, and the G. It's the N that I need to cheat on. And I'm going to try it with a U. So I could do it this way, which just means I end up with a sans serif N, but a serifed G. The other option is that I have an H, and I could try and trim it down and include the serif, but I don't think that I would get it as clean as the U. So I think that's what I'm going to go with, but I'm glad that I just tapped those into place there because I don't like it with the blue on top of the black. It needs more contrast, so I need to look for a different place to put it on the page. So I could bring it onto these, but I'm again having black in the background, so let's see. And I think I'll probably get the color change. No, maybe not. In the middle of that letter. That might work okay, actually. Okay. And Do I have enough to do? Oh, I can do let's, but I won't have any apostrophes. That's one thing that does really give me trouble with this kind of sticker. So let me see if I can find maybe some small individual stickers where I could include the apostrophe, because not having an apostrophe makes me sad. I can do it with the yellow. And that way I can have let's, because of course I could, write it out long form and have let us sing, since that's really what let's means, but we don't say that, do we? I don't. I say let's. So I'm thinking that's where that's going to go, but I don't want to really put this down into place until I figured out the embellishment for this spot here. When I'm doing multiple pages like this all on one theme, I definitely employ the it's not broke, don't fix it school of embellishment. So I've used this big circle punch on other pages for this section of the album, all from this party. So I'm going to start there. I want to bring in more of this yellow. I'll grab a smaller circle punch so that I end up with some variety. And then I think it would be good to bring the red over to this side as well. And I'm pretty sure I've got just enough that I can do a little bit with that as well. And maybe instead of having all circles, I will do some labels. And so that they don't all blend together, I'll add some dimension behind the label. And now I have covered up all that problem with the strip of paper there. I'll go ahead and hopefully that won't fall off while I trim this circle, just so that I can have a bit more accurate idea of how it's balancing. And then to make this feel like it should be there, I'm going to take that and move it to the other side as well. So I'm just going to repeat the big circle from the black polka dot and the smaller circle from the yellow. But this time I'll use the smaller red label instead of the big one. Easy. And I can have it over both, but on this one it actually only overlaps the yellow, and that brings it toward the middle of the page, and I think I like that idea best. So I'm going to stick with that. Now, I need to get a place for journaling here, and before I run out of room to do other stuff. So I think I could journal in white on either the red or the black, but both patterns are quite busy, and if I add more white in the writing, I think it's going to get quickly get to be kind of like a magic eye background. It's going to make your eyes not want to focus. So instead, I think I need to just lighten it up by adding a journaling card that's white with black lines or white with gray lines, something really, really basic. So I get that maybe in this space here, I think. Found my answer, and admittedly, these little circles are more pink than they are red, but how perfect is it that it has 1, 2, 3 for third birthday party? So I'm going to go ahead and let that be my decision, since there is a tiny bit of pink here, so it's not going to look out of place. It's just not going to emphasize my nice red, black, and white color scheme. And I'm going to tuck this behind here so that it's not too huge. And what I was looking at was, I really don't want to cover up the numbers, but I also don't love this little detail here where there's a gap there. So I think what I'll do is move the circles over. So, oh, maybe I can make it just work. That works. Okay, I'm going to pop it right there. Okay. And then journaling in the boxes. And I'm not really going to use them as 3 numbered things. I'm just going to write in them. Sorry if that ruins the entire purpose of this journaling card, but I love that it's 1, 2, 3. All the really important stuff is on the page now, so I just have a little bit of fun with the embellishment. So I want to stick with red and blues where I can. I'm going to bring this little sticker down here into that grouping. And a smaller one up here. Since I've brought in that light blue there, I'm going to bring in the light blue camera up here. Now I've used red cameras on some of the other pages. Oops. I think I'll put the pop dots on this one. Yeah, I used red cameras, but because this one is, I think it could benefit from just a little bit of lightening, I'm going to use the light blue. And also that means I can bring in that sticker without that light blue looking out of place. Run that one up there. Just quickly flip in case there was something else. I do have a yellow star that might work well. Right about there. Oh, and this was the other star thing I wanted to include. I've got this black and white star from the washi page here. If I can just get it started. I thought I could use part of it up here. Tuck it under there. And then bring that same pattern down here. Run it across this label. That leaves me a tiny little bit. If there's another spot that's useful, I might actually just tuck it behind there so that it looks like it goes all the way across, even though it doesn't. And then I want some blue here and there. I think I'll start with these. I've got these blue brads. These are quite old, but I loved this product. Just like how they look. So I have this little pearl, but it has a little silver frame of a brad. So if I put one of these down in this grouping and 2 up here, I think. And then smaller than that, these little blue rhinestones just to finish bringing all those layers together. So these are going to go on places where there's an overlap. 3 of them up there. 3 of them down here. I want to add more to this label here because it's seeming a bit bare. So I'll do that with the rhinestones. Oh, I think that rhinestone is too close and even to that one, so to that brad. So I'll leave that over. And I think the only thing this then needs is a little something like maybe a word sticker to go right there on that red label. So there we go. A little bit of yellow to finish all of that. And then it's done. So that's 3 of the 5 birthday pages. I will share the remaining 2 as soon as I get them made. And if you do want to see where I'm posting new pages first, I tend to post them both on Instagram and Facebook. And if you search for Shimelle on either of those, you'll find me. If you're not following already. Thanks so much for watching. Please do leave any questions for Glitter Girl either here in the comments or over on our Facebook group. It's called Scrapbook Like a Superhero, and you'll find the link just in the description below this video. See you soon!